3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time for lots of gronks. Hey, hey, it's time for lots of gronks.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time for lots of fun. It's time for lots of fun. Oh yes, hello everyone. It's great to see you. I hope I find you well. I'm Jenny Kirk, welcoming you up here to Weir Yard. We've got Gronksy, we've got Topsy, we've got a monkey in the corner. Have you got a monkey in your cupboard? And
we have some clowns in.
Tumblr clowns are in. Oh, that sounded like Honky Horace was coming in for the group. And of course, always, as ever, there's somebody here ready for if you happen to be just a little bit later than expected.
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. We've got Rick Morley, Andy Stewart, RG Models 86, Marcus Muggins, JL Railways, Patrick Ling, Ham Shackleton, Hillside Junction, Flymo Chairman 1, Ben Tullett, Ruben Ashwell, Warbler Productions, who's probably already spotted the TARDISes, Chris McDonald, Whamgog, Phil, Will Tucker, 3B Rail, Jordan Hunter, one of our great members there, member for 2 months already, says evening Jenny and Zoe, 2 months already. I know it goes quick, doesn't it? Plymouth North Road Station, Colin Oldham, Anthony, Awesome Bricks, Richard Swiderski, Andy Fryers Junction. We've got so many people in. It's always great to see you. Do please tickle that like button. It does love it when you do that. You go ka-ching and it goes
You see, this is the type of thing that I have to put up with, the fact that she thinks that like buttons make funny noises.
You don't have to. You get to. So anyway, today's topic is all about, are there too many models? What do we mean?
Next question.
Oh, that was easy. Okay, has anybody got a topic then? No, but seriously, I mean, there's so many new models coming out.
There
at the
really
moment.
are, yeah.
I've just had a whole load of emails from various retailers saying, oh, yeah, this new model's in, this new model's on its way. We've got manufacturers posting saying, these models are on the boat. And I don't remember there being quite so many new models coming through like this. Certainly not back in my childhood. You know, you were lucky if you got a new model a year to dribble over. But now it does seem that there's so many new models coming out. Yes, we get some duplication. We saw that with the Lomax, although it has to be said, both Lomax exceptionally good wagons. So you're really spoilt for choice because there isn't actually any duplication on running numbers between the pair of them. And actually, they could put out a whole load of extra releases and still not duplicate each other. But it does mean that your money is spread very, very thin.
Yeah.
RG Models 86 says the problem is when you've pre-ordered so many models and they all arrive at once.
Yeah.
Could you make the text just a little tiny bit bigger?
I can.
I can't quite
Which
read it.
reminds me, I did have a request to make the text bigger on the screen as well.
Can we
watching
do
on
that?
TVs. I have made it bigger. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Ham Shackleton says, who's got money?
I know I don't.
Unfortunately, we talk about this a lot. The squeeze on incomes and everything.
Yeah.
Anthony Neal says, I've got a peachy wagon on the way in TT120.
Oh, there's always room for TT120. It's so small, it just slides in there.
It does, actually. And it is quite interesting. When you we did last week, we compared N-gauge TT120 and 00 gauge, and it is quite interesting to see the differences in sizes. But yeah, I hear that Peachy's special commission wagon has sold out already.
Oh, well done, man. Well done.
Absolutely.
Text on the screen is easy to read. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
Good. Hillside Junction says, I wish Rails of Sheffield would give notice before taking payments for pre-order. Sorry, it's just gone off the top of the screen.
That's actually an interesting point. I get a notification from a lot of my stuff, like if I've pre-ordered something on Amazon, when they're about to dispatch, they tell me.
Yeah, and actually, I must admit that you also get something similar in your bank statement. It gives you a list of forthcoming payments So I actually get warned when things like council tax and mortgage and things like that go out. And yes, it would be very nice, but I suppose from the retailer's point of view, do they necessarily know? I have heard tales of mystery box loads of stuff turning up, and they go, oh, we didn't know this was coming. Peter Jackson Cheadle Heath says hello to Simon Trains Mother Railway Showcase, Cameron Patterson, Richard Swiderski, Richard Knowles, Rick Morley, Ewan, the Growler, Blackwood, Engage Layout. Yeah, there's a lot of people in. James Petts says I approve of special wagons selling.
Oh, absolutely! I love to see smaller creators really getting on. It's exactly what I want to see in this hobby.
Yeah, and I do like to think that we've paved the way, being pretty much... Are you all right over there? You're
just
wafting.
A little bit warm.
You're wafting. It's almost like you've got some...
I thought it was supposed to be autumn. Why am I getting warm?
It is surprisingly warm today. Shall I... Right, hold on. I've actually managed to find your biggest fan. Yay. There it goes.
Thank you. Before we go any further, though, Jen...
What?
Roll VT.
What? Oh, okay.
You know? Come on, we are professional. Roll VT.
We're about as professional as a rock falling very, very quickly into a pit of doom on fire.
Welcome to the Monday Club, your online model rail club for all the news, gossip, layout tours and more with your host, broadcaster and model maker, Jennifer Kirk.
The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering, or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey. Welcome back, and a big thank you to Ravenheart, our newest Monday Club membership. There's lots of membership thing going, but thank you so much for supporting the channel. Right on Track says TMC are going to IPMS. So don't forget to stop by them if you are attending. Oh, IPMS, it must be a show.
I would expect so, yes.
That we've got a few comments coming actually whilst the intro was rolling.
So we've got one here from British Railroad Enthusiasts.
Yes.
Who says, can you run an American steam locomotive?
It's a big thing, and it's the couplings aren't compatible with the trains.
Can I just point one thing out? British Railway Enthusiasts.
I can
asks for an American. British.
So I only have one American steam loco. I can see it. It's buried at the back. It's a Niagara.
We need to get a big boy.
Yes, we do actually. I nearly got one when we were down at Hornby. But I can wave enthusiastically. I think it's something like an Alco.
I do love that one.
So I can enthusiastically wave this at you. So that's a Northern Pacific. I'm going to say Alco. But at the moment, the problem is that these have all got KDs and none of my stock does, so it's a bit awkward. But yeah, one of the things we probably need to sort out for 1 week and actually get them with all the rolling stock. I was very, very generously sent by a number of YouTubers. 156 Andrew Shortbread Express says, "Hi Jenny in chat. Sorry, I'm late."
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Wamgok says, "The thing that annoys me is that shops expect full payment when ordering, then it takes years to arrive and they keep the interest." And not all
Some
shops
do, but not all.
Not all do.
I can understand why some of them do.
But
But
the thing is, they're generally, as far as I'm aware, the shop is not getting charged until the goods arrive.
Yeah.
So that I don't know I don't actually run a shop. Never really done any retail of that nature.
Yeah, wouldn't want to if you're offered the chance, because let's face it, I don't think you'd manage to last very long.
Andy Friars Junction says, "We don't take any money until the item is actually in stock with us." And see, that's what I thought. A lot of I would, if I were you, I'd maybe look at ordering with a different shop, because I don't.
The biggest issue, of course, is if it's the only one in the area and they know it.
Yeah, but that seems wrong, taking payment
Yes,
in full.
it does.
Especially when, I see that conversely...
A deposit, yes.
Yeah, but this is the thing as well, which the shop opens themselves up then to effectively they've got a contract for a model at that price because they've taken the money, it's sealed the deal.
Yeah, and they've got a contract paid in full.
They're on the hook then. And that would strike me as quite probably they're then introducing a legal minefield that they're obliged to fulfill at that price. And what happens if 7 years later the price has gone up tenfold?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's the penalty.
We agreed a price.
We agreed the price, and effectively your tacit agreement to agreeing to the price is taking the money. I have heard of some shops rather sneakily saying, "Oh, the price has gone up. We want more money," and it's like, well, you shouldn't have taken any money at the start, because that implies that you were happy with that price. But I think as well, the thing is, look very carefully at the terms and conditions, because I suspect they would cover themselves in that area. Richard Swiderski says, "Still waiting for my KR Models Bellerophon, which was due soon, put back to spring 2025. Now paid up front." Ooh. I know that they are expecting a decorated sample of that.
Yeah, it's not long now.
I have been told that a decorated sample is incoming. I've also been told there's another sample of Big Bertha, which is expected at some point soon. Leader is on the water. It's in a shipping container.
It's sailing here
somewhere.
as we speak. Hopefully it doesn't sink.
So that should be here soon. The 4DD is in final assembly, from what I gather. And also, I'm told that the Hunslet Bobo as well has been quietly progressing through assembly.
So here's the thing. Speaking of sinking, I remember my year before I went to university, I spent the summer making industrial grade filters. I made a lot of them for a brand new contract that was just going to open up an American market for this place down in Bourbon, where I was happened to be at the time.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're all at the bottom of the Atlantic because of a storm, and they had to make them all again.
So the ship didn't sink, but the container
fell off.
Oh my word. Lucitan St. James says, "I paid up front for the Accurascale Mark V. Seems best to cough up while I had the money." I mean, that is another way of looking at it. If you have the money at that moment in time and you can spare it, then it can be a good way of budgeting. But I understand when, I'm thinking in particular the Bachmann Class 25, looking at you, Bachmann. And the 24-1 as well took a very long time. So you could end up sitting on a pre-order that you've paid for an awfully long time. B2000 Road Toys Channel says, hi Jenny and Zoe, I'm finally going back to OO gauge modelling, starting with completely revamping my layout to look as well detailed as yours. Oh, thank you. It's on a Hornby track map layout. It's always a great place to start, and it gives you a really nice setup where you can see what you're aiming for. So they do form quite a good basis. Peter Jackson Sheila Heath says rails sometimes take a small deposit, generally £10, and yeah, I can understand
a small
that.
deposit I can understand.
Yeah, because I have heard of instances where lots and lots of people pre-order at a shop, and then when it finally arrives into stock, they I don't want it now. And having a deposit protects the shop from that, because you don't get the tyre kickers, because, well, they can still come and kick tyres, but it costs them £10 a pop now.
Yeah. I just want to say at the moment, I am terribly, terribly sorry. I forgot to show these when we came back from Great Electric Train Show. And I've also forgotten your name because I'm terrible with names. But you know who you are because we spoke for quite a while, and I gave you a Monday Club badge to replace the one that you'd got but had lost.
Sure.
Or that hadn't arrived in the post. I can't remember which. But you sent over a very magnificent Spitfire. This is wonderful. What an amazing looking livery. And look at how blue that is. That is amazing. I really like that.
So
and we've also got a Hawker Hurricane. How cool is that? And more sky blue on the bottom for that one instead of intense blue. That is so cool.
My word, JL
Wonderful.
Railways
Thank you so much.
very kindly has donated $4.99. Says, hey Jenny and Zoe, hope you're both well. I got Exeter the other day, and saying about pre-orders, is the Monday Club tank wagon sold out? Not yet, but orders are coming in.
Yeah.
I haven't had any update from Daypod, to be honest.
It can't be late. It can't be long now because we were hoping to aim for a Hurricane Mark IIc. Yes, it is.
Because I think they say it's 12 weeks, give or take. So
we were aiming for Christmas. So I'm hoping that will.
So we're hoping that's coming December sometime, before Christmas. But no news is good news in that respect because they're not telling us about a delay. Robert Hall says ordered the Class 55 from a Curascale in January, all paid for, still waiting for delivery. Plymouth North Road Station says I can imagine if you want every class member it could get very expensive, especially when so many top quality models are coming out of the Curascale Class 50, for example. I'm not that I'm biased on the 50s. Right, let me have a look and see if
you have a look. See,
I'm going to see if I can find his message.
He said he found the thing, and I said we'll just keep the extra on. But yeah, it's how it is. So you just need a Lancaster, and you have the Battle of Britain Memorial fight. I do need to build a Lancaster. It's been too long. And also for someone who asked what that German plane was that's behind Jen, it's a German test thing that only flew once near the end of World War II and never came into production. And it's by a Hungarian manufacturer, I believe, called PM Model. And I can't remember what the name of the thing is, but it's their version of the Flying Wing. So, yeah, it's a very interesting model, and it's like one of their what-ifs. So, I like it. But, oh my goodness, Simon Snow, thank you so much.
Oh, that is incredibly
Thank you so much,
generous
man. That
of
is
you.
incredibly
Thank you.
generous. Thank you.
So I was just I can't find. I'm really sorry. I can't find.
I am terrible with. I am terrible, really terrible with names. I really wish I could say, but I'm so sorry.
Oh,
You have a Lancaster kit waiting for you to build. I've got a Supermarine Walrus waiting for me to build it.
oh, that's interesting. There, Ben Tuller. Of course, Indiana Jones blew up a flying wing in Egypt.
He did.
Well, it looked like a flying wing, but it was
It's like a
kind of.
Gotha or something or other, isn't it?
I don't, it's not. It doesn't appear to be based on any specific aircraft, but certainly an interesting thing, and it's also interesting to watch. I think it's death number 2 of 3 of the guy from Alvida Zane Pet. What was his name? I forget his name.
I can't remember his name either.
But he's basically famous for his on-film role. He just dies repeatedly in Indiana Jones and Star Wars films. But he's also one of the guys from Auf Wiedersehen, Pet. Pat Roach, there you are, March West Junction TMD. Because he's the guy who gets sliced and diced by the propeller when he's fighting Indiana Jones under that plane. But previously, he was one of the guys in Marion's bar who gets shot in the punch-up at the start. Marcus Muggins says, more deaths than Sean Bean. I think they're probably on a par.
It's a Gotha Geo 229A1.
Is that what that?
Yeah, and it's a what if.
Yeah, he was a wrestler in real life, but was called Bomber in Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, that's the one. Well, I get the Corky Aces High Spitfire when it's out. I don't know. I have a few Spitfires now. I've actually built another one downstairs from a one we got for ages ago. Oh, speaking of stuff that we've been given, Jan.
Yeah, hello.
You've got a piece of P4 track.
Oh, yes.
From DJK666.
DJK666, thank you so much.
So shall I go and get it?
Yeah, you can. You bring the biscuits that are with it as well.
I will.
Can wrestle
they were
them,
very nice.
Wrestle them from the hands of
he hasn't opened them
Gandalf.
yet. I told him that he had to open them on the stream.
Did he? Oh, right. So we might actually get to see Gandalf's hands. Which will look
he'll ask
remarkably
me to open them,
smooth.
You know what he's like.
What,
so I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, he has staff for that.
Yes.
Apparently, Chris McDonald says Pat Roach was killed by chemicals in Casualty as well.
Wasn't everyone killed by chemicals in Casualty?
Right, can you just... I've had to change the... there we go. No, we're up
the
and
angle
running.
The angle for the brew, that is true.
Warbler Production says, has Zoe started working on the new TARDIS yet?
No.
No, okay.
Because I've been trying to catch up on all of the videos and stuff. And that's what's been taking me time. Also, we visited the motherland.
Yeah. Ben Davis says, Jennifer, of course, the Bachmann announced the new London and North Western Railway 50-foot arc roof coaches. I think that these are an amazing development. And it's interesting to see that we've had the more generic ones coming through from Rapido. Those are designed to basically be a suggestion of pre-groupingness and certainly capture the ethos and appeal to people who model all manner of different pre-grouping companies. But Bachmann have gone down the more specific route. And I know some people say, oh, why can't they do something specific? But that's actually what Bachmann have done. And I think with things like the London and North Western Railway coaches, some of these were quite long-lasting. And the livery as well. The London and North Western Railway livery is incredible. I've got some of the Genesis coaches, the six-wheelers in that livery, and they're just incredible. So I think it is a very sensible choice. We've previously seen the Southeastern and Chatham Railway bird cages from Bachmann. But yeah, I've just seen the comment there. Russell Benton says, wait for the price. They are not going to be cheap. I'll tell you that now. So start saving if these are a must-have item. Beverage of choice is Pepsi. To the max, cherry. Excuse me. Ben Tullett says, there's also one called TARDIS Toilet Hire near me. When I used to do Cumbria Steam Fair with my father, I'm sure there was the lorry that turned up to empty the Turdises actually was called the Turdis, and it was painted blue, I seem to remember. Ruben Ashwell says, got Pepsi to the max. Excellent. RG Models 86 says, just as well, I don't have any London and North Western Railway coaches in my collection. I'll be honest, of the pre-grouping liveries, London and North Western Railway is probably one of my favourite liveries for coaching stock, at least. the locomotives were a little bit boring with that kind of plum black, where it's black but it's got a slight plum tinge to it. I prefer some of the other pre-grouping locomotive liveries, but when it comes to coaching stock, then it is absolutely London and North Western Railway is up there. Now, a very, very big thank to DJK666. Nice, and I'm saying that because they're nice biscuits. So thank you so much for that. I'm going to pass that over to you, and if you can keep that away from Gandalf, and a small piece of P4 track. So thank you so much. This is going to be perfect for the challenge that DCC Concepts have set me. That basically to get a piece of track for every single gauge that's listed on their premium rolling road. And I am curious. That is freaky. I've just held it up to the track, and it's P4. Nice. This is P4, and you can see that it's quite noticeable how narrow the double O is. DJ K666 says you're very welcome. Enjoy the biscuits. Thank you so much.
So here's a question we've had from British railroad enthusiasts saying, have I started on the American layout for my Engage American locos? Here's the thing, I'm not going to do an American one anymore. I did talk about it for a long time, but I worked out a different thing. I'm going to have a railway in a suitcase that I can take anywhere. It's going to be double layer, and it's going to be a heritage railway that can run anything as a heritage day. Right? We've got a visiting loco from Germany. We've got a visiting loco from America.
Raymond Legg says RIP resolution.
What?
What's
What?
Resolution?
What's happened?
I don't know. Patrick Ling says, anything else in the news this week, Jenny? We've got the new batch of Daypole's 262 Prairie tanks are coming through. They're actually really good. I must admit that I was quite impressed with them when Daypole loaned the Channel one for us to take a good close look at.
The London Underground layout is not shelved. I don't have any London Underground rolling stock or trains yet because I haven't found a good one at a good condition at a nice price. I will get there, but that's going to be a while yet.
Do it in double O. I have got 2, 3, 4 steam locomotives. 4 locomotives, 2 electric, 2 steam.
Actually, hang on. I do have a London Transport one.
Have you? Oh yeah, you've got the Class 20. Not really good for the underground.
But it could be an overground pass.
Storm Bowman says, hi all, greetings from Denmark. Oh,
hi. So yeah, the London Underground one is not shelved.
Nomad Railway says resolution was a Class 50. I
was going to say something and I can't remember what it was.
So it's just finally met the cutter's torch end.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible.
Because I thought that there was a Class 50 that had been kind of like the Demic one. That was cut a while ago. I didn't. Is there another one being broken up? Not seeing that.
Right.
Ben Tullett says, I am guessing his computer resolution.
That would do it as well. Jen, we do have some information from TMC. I was speaking to TMC earlier on, and they've had...
I love the way Howard's got you on speed dial.
Most people have my number if they've talked to me.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to know who's ringing you so you can go, oh God, it's the cupboard monkey! Block, block, block.
Hide the wine gums.
God, yeah, you do love the wine gums.
But yes,
you're like Gandalf, but yeah.
I was speaking to TMC earlier on.
Oh, apparently,
go on then.
The resolution of the stream.
Right.
So we got there in the end.
Okay. That was great information that needed to interrupt the news there, Jenny.
It did.
I was speaking to TMC earlier on, and they've had in the largest second-hand how can I put this? Collection. That's the word. I was thinking demonstration. No, that's not the right word. Collection that they've ever had that's come in to them.
It's like about 1,000 items, was it? They said?
Over that, I believe. They put up 500 of them on their website to buy last week, and are doing another equal batch this week. So that's like 1,000 there. And it's huge. So if you're looking for something, and I know I'm going to be looking for something, have a look on the TMC website, because wow, that's a lot.
But I guess the thing is that we talk about how high prices of new stuff have gone.
Do what I do and go for the second hand if you can.
One of the things that we always try and do, and actually at the shows I make out like a bandit, it must be said. There's so many great deals on second hand. It's always worth a punt. And this, you don't have to pay a fortune.
Yeah.
And one of the things that not just myself actually, there was quite a few people picking them out when we were at the Great Electric Train Show. Clark Railworks had 08 shunters for like 75 quid.
Yeah.
For the decent Hornby ones. They also had a load of Bachmann ones, variety of different liveries. Some of them were special commissioned, some of them run of the mill. I got one of the BR Blue, the Holy Grail, a BR Rail Blue Hornby Super Detail Gronk for £75. And where people who are saying, oh, this new Bachmann one's going to be like really, really expensive. It's like, well, you can still get what are actually really good models for a fraction of the price. They are out there.
It's amazing. So, I picked up the Gronk that I've got in TT120 was like 90 quid because it was on the discount thing for the second anniversary.
Yeah.
But when I went to Clark Railworks a couple of years ago, the first time we went to Gets together, I got two locomotives, an American and a German one, in N gauge for 20 quid.
Oh, Knockers Lane says, I have a London Underground layout, complete with 4 rails and a cleaner with a broom and bin, called Jenny Kirk. Yes, we've seen that photo. Not for me right now. Sorry,
Gandalf!
Whoa! Come on, Gandalf!
You know I need some biscuits.
You're getting crumbs
I need the
over
biscuits.
the cupboard monkey. Look at that!
She doesn't mind.
Yes, she does. Look, she looks like a grandma with all white in her hair, and it's just biscuit crumbs. Oh my word! Did you get any biscuit in your mouth?
5.
At once. SR Signalman says now that it's free to private sellers to sell on eBay. Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe perhaps they've finally realised that they were shafting sellers so hard that actually you can't have a site that's all buyers if there's no sellers.
Mm-hmm.
So I've lost the guy. Now it's free to private sellers to sell on eBay. I've been selling a lot of the trains that I no longer want to help fund my Rapido addiction. Absolutely. And, talking about, are there too many models? I saw somebody say that the Jones goods aren't that far away. So I'm actually really looking forward to the Jones goods. Are there too many models? I think with the batch production, there can be. What, the cranes?
Yeah. That looks pretty damn good, doesn't it? I'm just having a quick look at the TMC website.
Yeah, EFE Rail 00 gauge Placer 12-ton YOB diesel cranes. I don't know, were these the ones that Hatton's said that they were thinking of doing and then didn't?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
I'm not sure, but these are coming from EFE Rail. And I've seen a lot of adverts of them. They're now in the shops. They do look really, really interesting. And yeah, we are spoilt a little bit for choice. But I think there is an element of this fear of missing out. But at the end of the day, you don't have to buy everything. And I know it's really hard sometimes. It's almost like an obsession. And I think that there's an element of social media and the way that things are advertised now. There's almost like a pressure to buy. And actually, I think a lot of people, if they were able to step back and didn't have that the social media stuff pushed at them. I think a lot of people might say, actually, yeah, I probably wouldn't buy X, Y, and Z. There's a lot of impulse purchases. It's like, oh, the salesman was very, very nice, and it was very, very shiny.
I couldn't hear the register.
Yeah, and Russell Benton, you're absolutely right.
What?
The original Bachmann 08 is not half bad. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at some of the Hornby Railroad stuff that TMC have pre-owned.
Okay.
£25.
Yeah, I mean, they are starter locomotives.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it kind of counters what I was thinking in my head. All this issue of there's so much coming out and so much coming out, and if you're coming new to the hobby and thinking, well, do I have to get it now? When will I actually get it? I want to start.
Yeah, and some of these things.
Go and have a look at stuff like this. Starter locomotives, £25. TMC. You can't be robbed for that. This railroad range. I know some of the usual suspects always poo-poo it, but you know what? Railroad is damn good.
Yeah, some of actually the Railroad Plus, the Class 31 and the 37, I didn't think were too bad.
I thought they were fine. I really liked them.
Under £100.
What about that one I got for a tenner at the show a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
£10. Fully working locomotive.
And also, incidentally, if you are in the Kent area and fancy going and visiting the Hornby Wonderworks, don't forget that your Monday Club badge now gets you in for free. You need to be wearing it at the time, and it also gets you 10%. Yes, that's right, 10% off anything in the Hornby shop. In-person sales, and not including heavily discounted items. So I know they sometimes have things in there that are like 50% off clearance. It doesn't include those, but the regular stuff is 10% off. DJ Sarah Hall says, sorry, not bought a new loco yet. All mine are second hand. And that's absolutely fine, to be honest with you. I've bought a few new wagons, love my second-hand 08, Bachmann 37, pair of Lima HSTs, one set in OG livery and one set in Swallow. Oh, Swallow is a good livery.
It is. But, probably the best livery, I think.
And can I just say, second-hand doesn't necessarily mean like oldie-worldy stuff.
Yeah.
Because everything that I have here is second-hand if I sell it.
Yeah, but it's perfect condition.
And it's perfect condition. So, like, I could dump my entire collection on the market. So it's like tomorrow, it's like TMC, big sale, the Jenny Kirk collection. It's all second hand, but there's some good stuff here. But yeah, no, second hand. One of the things that I do think that Bachmann got very right back, like 20 plus years ago, the Bachmann 08, I think it came out in 2000 or 2001. It's actually an incredibly good model for its time. It was light years ahead of anything else that was on the market. The same could be said for their original Class 25, Class 24, and Class 20 still hold their own. And actually, we've got going around, there is an original release, Class 20, from Bachmann, 20063, is doing the rounds. And, I've shouldered that up to the new tooled version, and actually it does compare quite favourably. And when you can pick them up, I've seen them down to like £40-50 unboxed in good condition. And they'll pull and pull and pull. They're all-wheel drive, all-wheel pickup. I've actually got sound fitting in them. Even though they're the original 8-pin chassis, you can get sound in them. Not an issue at all. So there really are some great stuff out there. Hanning's Rest Mother Hour says, I picked up a Hornby Class 110 for £60. It'd never been run. Mega pleased with it. And RG Models 86 is the old Bachmann Class 37 is still a good model too. Yeah, and in this day and age, I think sometimes people become very obsessed about like, oh, it's a micron out here, or that's not quite right. And actually,
and then they run it on.
And then they run it on 00 gauge track. Your track's narrow gauge, mate. And it's. sometimes I think we obsess as modelers about the wrong things. I mean, yeah, if it looks like garbage, then maybe, but you don't get models that look like garbage. And I think at the right price, there's some incredible models on the market. Also seeing a new run of the Bachmann Mark 1s coming through. Now these, again, Bachmann knew what they were doing. When they tooled up the Mark 1s, they really did get it right. We've got new versions coming through where you can also buy them pre-fitted with passengers. Now, they can be a little bit tricky to get apart, so having them pre-fitted with passengers is quite helpful, although they are a bit on the pricey side, but, isn't everything. The Growler Blackwood N-Gauge layout says the hobby is expensive, so make sure you insure your layouts.
Oh, absolutely.
We've talked about this. I keep meaning to do a video.
And make sure you keep the insurance up to date.
Yeah,
I don't just mean paying the next instalment.
Yeah.
I mean making sure that your stuff hasn't got more expensive as you've been using it.
And this is something that in the collecting world is a big issue.
Yeah.
That it may not have cost a huge amount when you bought it, but if you were to have to replace it now, you could find that that Bachmann 08 shunter that you bought back in 2001 for £37 would now cost you pushing £200 to replace, say. And that's what you've got to bear in mind, that even if you don't buy anything, the value of your collection can increase. And yeah, DJ K666 says, taking an inventory of your locos and rolling stock is a good idea. Maybe using a cheap exercise book.
Yep.
Or even just, I've got a lot of my stuff listed in an Excel spreadsheet for a variety of reasons, because it also gives all sorts of information on things like livery details, whether locos are sound fitted with Bluetooth, and also it keeps a tally, because it's one tally for everything I own. What scale it is as well. So I've got O gauge, N gauge, TT120, and 009 all mixed in there as well. And you can save that on the cloud. So even if the crims nick your computer or your computer goes up in smoke, you've still got a record of what you had. That's very, very important.
Going up in smoke is a bigger thing. The biggest worry with electronic stuff like this, as it gets older, isn't theft, it's fire.
Yes. And that's what this is the thing. We've talked a little bit about this before, about the notion of what people in the insurance business call underinsured. And what you've got to remember is that actually, I've lost my train of thought. Sorry, you were distracting me. What are you doing over there? You're
Richard Gruter says, I purchased an exercise book, but there's nothing in it on how to lose weight.
But anyway, no. So underinsured. This is the sneaky thing. It's not really sneaky, but you have to be careful about this. Now, imagine that your contents insurance, you insured your contents for, let's say, £20,000, and you, it turns out, have got £40,000 worth of goodies. And then you get broken into, and £10,000 worth of your goodies get stolen. Now, you think, but it doesn't matter. My insurance covers me for up to £20,000, so should be golden. That is not the case. What an insurance assessor could actually say is, you are underinsured.
Yep.
And that means that if you've got £40,000 worth of gear, you insure for £20,000. What they will say is, you only insured half of your possessions. And you don't get to pick which half. So you can't say, oh, well, the crims miraculously only pinched from the half that was insured. Doesn't work like that. They will say, well, as you only insured half of the value of all your goods, we will only pay you out £5,000 of the £10,000 worth of stuff that got nicked.
Yep.
And that's the pitfall of underinsured.
It's a dangerous game.
Yeah, and you have to remember as well that theft is not necessarily going to be the big devastating thing. Yes, it's devastating when you get robbed, but there's a lot of things they just won't touch, and they're generally they're opportunists, so they'll only take what they can carry, and if you've got a lot of stuff, they just simply can't carry it all. But the big leveler is fire, because fire doesn't care what your stuff is. It doesn't care whether your old dog-eared T-shirts or your finest Armani jackets are in its path. It will destroy them indiscriminately. And likewise for your model railway, a fire is devastating. And there are photographs online where people have shared where their model railway has been caught up in a fire. And it's heartbreaking to see the absolute devastation.
Absolutely.
And you've got to protect yourself from that. So
flood and hurricane as well. You're absolutely right, Raymond.
Absolutely, because we've just had this huge hurricane in Florida. I know there's a lot of model railroaders out there as well. So you've got to bear that in mind. And I don't think basements are quite a thing in Florida.
Florida doesn't tend to have basements.
No, because of the high water table.
Yeah.
But you can imagine having stuff in your basement, and wherever you are, and your basement can flood. Marcus Muggins, vandals aren't selective either.
Yeah, we found that out, didn't we?
Yeah, and we've seen that as well. Was it the Bowness and Kinneil Railway? Their model railway coach was broken into, and the scumbags actually tried to set fire to it.
Jen, who would you recommend for insurance?
Yeah, there's a few people asked that. Ed Flame, 4291, Patrick Ling. Well, we're with Churchill, and that's not.
They're home insurance, really, but Magnets actually do a specialty, don't they?
Yes, and they actually sponsored us for a while, and they actually do specialist insurance.
Yeah.
For specifically covering things like model railway collections, and the point behind that is that a lot of the time, if you've ever had the misfortune of having to make an insurance claim, one of the problems you might come up against is just people just don't understand what the stuff is. And when I had a lot of stuff stolen, thankfully I got most of it back thanks to very, very quick work getting lists of all the stuff that got stolen out with their distinguishing features so people could spot it, and it was spotted. But they talk like, so how many train sets were stolen? And it's like that. No, it's not a toy. And you had to really work at it. With Magnet, they understand that a lot of these items, just giving you like ponying up some cash or what you paid for it is not always what you need.
Yeah.
Peter Leyland says trying to insure musical instruments is a pure nightmare.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine this. We've insured one violin. It's like, no, it's a Stradivarius. You can't get them anymore.
Yeah, and that's it. It's like, right, we went down to Crappy Instruments R Us, and we got you this £50 violin. So no, I think you'll find it's a £4 million Stradivarius. Dave Scott Railway says I use Magnet as well. Yeah, very good. And I know that I think they have a stand at some of the bigger model rail shows. So it might be worth actually going and talking to them. And Shaky Hands Shed Model Railway says I struggle trying to insure my porn stash.
Are you talking
I hope
about?
You mean train porn?
Are you talking about trains, a mustache, and a certain styling, or a pile of antique smut? Because that statement could be many things.
Your gentleman's literature.
Antique smut.
So
for
Zantec says hello from St Andrews Model Railway Club. St Andrews in Scotland, gosh, that's quite far up the country.
Yeah, you said you were gone there tonight.
And tractor porn, says Richard Knowles. Oh, I love a bit of Massey Ferguson, maybe with a little bit of Nuffield. And a McCormick Farmwell. Hey! Yeah, look at you. The look on the monkey's face.
I'm just waiting for you to say Lamborghini.
Lamborghini did start out making tractors.
Making some tractors.
Yes.
So, one thing that we have to say before anyone else goes further is that we have had a few people turn up late. So, take it away, Gandalf.
A Monday clubber is never late, Toto Haggins, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to. You thought you got away from me, didn't you? But you hadn't.
Thanks,
I was waiting.
Gandalf.
You're welcome.
And incidentally, if anybody's wondering why the finger of doom has turned pink, well,
Because we tickled it.
Unfortunately, if you can, it's just at the other side of you. The blue one, unfortunately,
It met a fate worse than death.
yes,
A kid got hold of it.
unfortunately, the finger fell off. That's what happens, kids, when you point too much at people. They rip your finger off.
A finger of fudge is just enough to make you want some more.
So basically, we now just have a fist bump.
Fist bump.
Boom! So there we go. But graciously, we have been provided with an all-new finger. So we're cycling through the colours because somewhere over here is the original green one, which doesn't extend very far anymore. Extend.
She said extend.
So, woo! So there we are. Yeah, we get... Oh, that's getting a bit seized up. Oh, there we go.
Oh my goodness, you have to crank it.
Yes, fist bump. Brilliant, says
Yeah.
Name a Gamer Whitey. Blue Fist of Doom, says TJK666.
Sarah Davis says that's what happens when you do too much fingering, you lose it. Oh no, no, that we don't need an addition to the antique smut.
Shaky Hands Shed Model Railway says Aston Martin were linked to tractors too. DB stood for David Brown. Of course, yeah, David Brown tractors. There was a lot of brands of tractors. Field Marshall. We've already had the McCormick. I never liked the McCormick Farmwells. They had a weird front. Was Leyland as well made tractors? Massey Ferguson, Massey Harris. Oh, you gotta love a good T20.
You're just making up words now.
No, this is Fordson. Yes, the Fordson
just making up
Major and the
words.
Fordson Dexter. Ford as well made a Fergie T20 clone.
I had made some clowns.
So Porsche and Lamborghini make tractors.
Why do you say Porsche? It's Porsche.
Because I'm posh.
But it's not
International
Porsche, it's
Fordson.
just wrong.
Says David Brown. You got the perfect name for it. Plymouth North Road Station says, where do you get the product from? Need one for the wife when she tells me off for being in the loft.
Works.
The Works. Find yourself a branch of the Works. They've always got some going on there. Aaronville says, apparently my built-out house is covered in my house insurance. Sure about the railway, though. Individual items up to 2,000, so maybe we have lots of individual items. Yes, as far as I'm aware, it's like, when it says like individual items, it's... I would argue the toss that like a locomotive is an individual item.
So this has just come in. I've just had this email as I
Oh,
was setting up for
what is
the
this?
videos.
Is this a new announcement?
This is the new announcement of the club exclusive
Is
version.
this the one that they announced at Gets?
May well be, but they've just put it out now on an email.
Ooh.
You can now pre-order the club exclusive Hornby Locomotion number 1.
Actually, 184.99. Can I just say that's the RRP? But unless
This thing looks amazing.
unless you can buy it from the shop, and I think they're all going to get sold out long before they have a chance to sit in the shop. That price is actually a really good price. When you see these things running, they are incredible.
It's hypnotic.
Yeah, very much.
It's like a living thing.
Dave Scott Railways, hello to you. RG Models 86 says, I've got the regular one on pre-order. Raymond Legg says 20,000 would buy a lot of second-hand models.
Yes.
Not necessarily as many as you think. It depends what you're going for. There are some expensive second-hand models. And it's weird, actually, sometimes, and this goes back to the pre-ordering thing, the fear of missing out and pre-ordering. Sometimes it's very hard to know which items will sell really well and just disappear, and which ones will hang around, and there's sometimes no reason or rhyme. So a good case in point is the re-railing coaches that are trundling around, and some of those are worth a fortune and some of them are worth peanuts.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the difference. Same with the RTC stuff. If you've got things like Wren, which was the Pullman coach in RTC livery, it's something like Laboratory 14. That one went for stupid money, and yet Test Car 6, which was the Mark II, I remember that they actually struggled to sell those. They have since gone up a little bit in price, but you know, it's very difficult to judge what's going to do what.
So I thought today we would start a little early with the videos.
Go
on, it's okay.
So, when you see it's running, it's like a spider scuttling along, says Richard Knowles.
It looks like a living thing.
Anthony, you might be waiting a little while at least, as we need a locomotion in TT120. Warbler Productions... Oh, can you stop it from going off the top? Leslie Gilpin's Railways. Case Tractors Ferguson, significant for the Ferguson system of connecting to machinery. Yeah, the 3-point linkage. Revolutionary for its time. Warbler Productions says, my issue with the Hornby locomotive... You didn't know that I knew all this, did you? My issue with the locomotive, the Hornby locomotion, says Warbler Productions, is that it just looks like plastic. The club one looks more like wood than the regular one. Now, we actually talked with Martin Weaver about this. We did an exclusive interview at Getz.
We did.
And at some point, we are going to put that out as
I
a
was
nice...
planning on this Wednesday.
Yeah, actually, I mean, because the sound quality on that is very, very good, so we'll put that out on the main channel.
Yeah, we had a couple of people that said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but the sound quality in this is too bad. I can't watch it."
So, well,
There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah,
I tried my best. I filtered out so much.
Peachy TT120 says, "Gotta go, gang. Thanks for a great evening."
Thanks for coming
Absolutely
along, dude.
welcome.
Have a great night.
Storm Bowman says, "You cannot buy the club exclusive from the shop. The model is made an Era one with changes from the Era 11 version. The nameplate is removed, so is the bell that was used in the US. Also, I'm told that the wood is a different colour, and that might be what people are saying.
People are looking at, yeah.
And it's based on how it looked when it was on the plinth at Darlington Station.
It looks good.
I think Martin said about 1957, something like that.
So a little bit before my time.
Yeah, a little bit. But
23 years before my time.
But I'll be honest with you, I actually feel much more of an affinity to Locomotion number 1 than I did to Rocket. I got a Rocket, I must admit.
Rocket is lovely. Rocket is an amazing piece of technology.
Yeah, and here's my Rocket. I actually can lay my hands on it. Still in the box. That probably tells you all that you need to know. That my Rocket in the 3 coaches, it's got Renown, Globe and Wellington. I don't know, I look at it and I think there was all that mad scramble for people to secure their Rocket, and now they're 2 a penny.
You were so worried about getting it that you hassled about a pre-order that you'd had that you didn't get and got sent certificate number 0 to shut you up.
No, that was the Duchess of Athol.
That was the Duchess of Athol. That was it.
I did.
I'm getting my pre-orders mixed up.
I did pull in some favours. But right, anyway, can you scroll down? Because
but the Rocket, I'm sorry, but the Rocket is one of the greatest pieces of
I'm going to press the button.
Of technology in miniature that I've seen ever. That thing is tiny, and you can fit a DCC chip in it. You can run it, and it works. I am astounded that they were able to do it. I really am.
Valley's 56XX says, "I'm not interested in early Era 1 locos, but love the late 19th century locos."
Oh, yeah, they have some style.
I mean, can I just say, there's a huge untapped vein of models, and this always comes up. Are they going to run out of things to make models of? And the answer is no.
How many J classes haven't they done yet?
Most of them. And that's just the LNER and LNER constituents. When you think that you have to get all the way up to J11 before you actually find one that they've done as a model. So I'm thinking, no, J1 to J10 have not been done as models. So we've had, J11, J15, J26 is forthcoming, J27 we've had, J36 we've had, we've had a J39, but it's quite an old model now. And then, you then jump all the way up to J50. J52, we've got an old railroad model, but there's a new one coming from Rapido. We've got the buck jumpers coming from Acura scale, so that's the J67, 68, and 69. Then J72.
I apologise, guys, for setting her off.
I'm sorry. You quoted numbers as an autistic person. What do you expect? But there's so many of these prototypes never been done, and they're the ones that, by and large, made it through to at least the 1930s. So going further back, Midland Spinner, I think, is an open goal. We're leaning on an open door there. I'm sure somebody must be working on the Midland Spinner, and every time I mention it, there'll be somebody at a manufacturer goes, what, who else is working on it? Puffing Billy at Beamish is great, says Anthony. Yeah, there's definitely some interesting early prototypes.
So there was a question, I can't see who asked it because it's gone off the top of the screen, but asking where the word rocket comes from and what was it used for before the word meant a space rocket. So it actually comes from the Italian word rochetta, meaning a bobbin or a little spindle.
So it's to do with the shape.
It's to do with the shape. It's spin. It looks like a spindle.
Mark Wilson, the waxer of the DeLorean, right there with you. Class 74. We got so close with the Class 71, and yet so far because we still haven't had the Class 74. I'd like to think that somebody like EFE Rail may have picked up, and I don't know this for certain, so if Graham Musprat's ears have pricked up, I know nothing. I'm just supposing here, but if EFE Rail have picked up the old DJ Models tooling, then I would be all over that like a cheap suit. If they were to do what DJ Models said that they were going to do but never did, which was make the Class 74 from that tooling.
But if anything should be coming soon, it should be Planet. We need Planet to go with Rocket.
But there's the Patentee as well.
Yes, and the Catch Me Who Can.
Yeah, but we're talking about a lot of these really early era ones.
Yeah, I love them.
But I like a lot of the singles, these big, ornate Victorian singles locomotives, with wheel arrangements like 422 and 222. There's some incredible prototypes
Pete Jackson says he needs the Samparai as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some. Sorry, but Era 1 needs more love.
And James Pett, absolutely. If we have Planet, we need Patentee. Dr. Deborah Catherine Stevenson Jones has cheap suit. I think we've made somebody snort tea through their nose. James Pett said, but Planet is teeny.
I know.
I think there's a lot of these ornate singles. Columbine. Where's the model of Columbine? And that's a locomotive that survives.
You okay, babe?
Yeah, sorry.
It's a little bit dusty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the dust just catches the back of your throat. There's I think actually, if you go and have a little punt around in what's in the National Collection, there's a lot of really interesting prototypes that survive that we've never seen models of. I think Columbine is definitely up there. I'd love to see that.
There was one person who mentioned that they'd love to see a model of rocket as it is in the Shildon Railway Museum. But I would say yes, but only if you have the option of adding the kids climbing on it as well.
But then, like we could go to London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, Gladstone. We've got a preserved one. But also things like the D1 class. And one of those actually survived into the 1950s, even though some of them were early casualties. At there was a hospital railway near Preston. And it's quite a shame, really, that it wasn't preserved in the end, as it was a unique survivor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. DX Goods. Oh, I always bang the drum and wave the flag for the DX Goods. London and North Western Railway, DX Goods. The most numerous single class of steam locomotive ever built in the UK. I believe it's like up in the 900s. And there's no preserved examples. However, they were very long lasting, whilst the DX Goods themselves were withdrawn, I think, by the LMS. The last of the tender versions were withdrawn by the LMS. There were some that were converted into tank engines, which survived, I believe, into BR ownership. There was also a number that were sold to Belgian railways and believed to have run through into the 1950s, and there was a chunk of one that was being used as the winding engine on one of the inclines on the Cromford and High Peak Railway. Now, I'm not clear what actually happened to that, whether that survived, whether it's still there, whether it got scrapped. But certainly the DX Goods, built in large numbers for the London and North Western Railway principally, but they also built some for the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway too. Winwick Hospital, says Ham Shackleton, had its own railway spur for the laundry.
Wow.
J. Paul Anderson, there were a lot of Black Fives. And I believe when we were talking to Phil Morley at Hornby, who is the designer of the all-new tooled Hornby Black Five model, he said that their tooling does allow them to do something like all but 10 of the locomotives.
Wow.
And the 10 that they can't do were like really had some wacky modifications. But when you're talking about a class of somewhere in the region of 800 plus, Richard Knowles says 843. That's pretty good going, being able to make
but the ones with the Mr. Fusion on the back.
Yeah, something like that.
Jen, so we're going to go into the videos tonight a little bit early because we have a lot of videos. So
also, I'm tired because
Yes.
I did a 14.5-hour day, rushed home, and here I am.
Yeah.
It was one of those days.
So here we go. We've got a video from Peter Jackson at Cheadle Heath, who says, another video for your delectation and consideration for showing on the Monday Club. This one shows an HO scale model of a train known as the Alda.
The Alda, it's a German one. It's
as seen here, operating on a French-themed layout called Parisir.
I think it was a Bavarian
Parisir.
Railways one. This was done as a model by, I think it was it Bachmann USA?
I couldn't say, but it's a very interesting looking one, isn't it? How small. Is that actually steaming? I'm sure I saw steam.
No, it's got perspex in front, so you're seeing the shadow of the people in front.
Yeah. Beep beep.
Der Adler, also known as the Eagle.
Adler was the first locomotive in Germany. It's their rocket.
Pretty much. Built by by the Stephensons, and based on some of the designs that they'd already done for
That was lovely, thank you.
Absolutely. So
we've
thank you
got
so
some
much
videos there of trumpets.
I put
Oh, so
Yeah, I'll press the button. Shall
thank
I?
you. Hit the lever.
Hit the lever. Was it Fleischmann who made that model, or Bachmann
I don't know,
US?
but that was rather snazzy. Wasn't
I mean, there's some lovely Era 1 models. People think, like, wow, aren't we great? We've got the first Era 1 models. But actually, Bachmann US has made quite a few. I think there's a Baltimore and Ohio, Grasshopper and such like that they did. And there's definitely the DeWitt Clinton is another one. Tricks, says J. Paul Anderson, as does Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath, and Raymond Legs.
Bachmann US and Märklin, they've made them.
Right.
And
Tricks and Märklin.
And,
So yeah, I mean, there's some wonderful models out there, it must be said.
so this one is very, very apt for what we're talking about tonight, because we've got one from Anthony here who says he's got a video of Puffing Billy from Beamish.
Oh, so
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Jen.
Billy,
Well done.
and I'm Puffin.
Billy's replacement puffin.
Billy's replacement
actually-
Woodbines.
So here we are, Puffing Billy. I wish I could make it a bit bigger, but it doesn't seem to have a full screen
Ooh,
button.
look, it's like so
Oh!
you can ride on it. When we went to Beamish,
Last time I was at Beamish, they were still putting in the railway.
yeah, my recollection is that
This is amazing.
the wagon way was they were just starting to construct it. I remember being fascinated by the fact
Those are those children's, aren't they?
yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I do know stuff.
And what's amazing about the Children's is people look at them and think, oh, they're well ancient, those. They were still using some of those Children's at Seaham Harbour into the early 1970s.
What on earth is that?
It's a coffee pot. It's a vertical boilered locomotive. So
We need one. I like it, we need one.
And they were surprisingly more common than you think back in the good old days.
This is really nice. It is going round again because it's only a minute long.
Let's
but
go
wow,
round
thank you so
again.
much. Yes, you're absolutely right there, Warbler. The coffee pot would make a wonderful 00 model. That looks amazing.
And they were out there in industry. I'm sure that there were some of those that worked in some of the quarries off the Festiniog Railway.
Can we just say to some of the people that make these more specialist things, there's one at Beamish, go and scan it.
I'm sure somebody already has.
Go and scan it again.
I think Bachmann went through a phase of going around scanning everything, just in case.
Just in case.
So I'd like to think that Jenny's top picks for blow you away models that will appear out of the blue, possibly from, I'm going to say it's more likely Bachmann and or Rapido. I say and or. It'd be Bachmann or Rapido is my top guess for this. But the Midland Spinner, I'm thinking that might be more of a Bachmann model, but you never know, because Rapido did do the Sterling single. Very, very fine model. And we are getting a new version of that coming through at some point as well. So all those people who missed out, because I mean that was like one of the hot must-have models that was blink and you'll miss it because it sold so well. So it's good to see that there's another bite of the cherry coming our way. But Columbine as well, Gladstone, and I quite like that North Staffordshire locomotive that used to, once upon a time, it's like a battery electric. It shunted at, I think it was at Oakmoor sand sidings. And it was made from an old wagon. When you see it, you don't immediately think, oh, that was just Heath Robinson out of a wagon. But Sarah Davis, Midland Spinner sounds like a band from the 70s. Yes, with their first album cover would be all of them wearing enormous flares posed on the bonnet of a Mark I Cortina. That used to be the thing, wasn't it? Let's all look cool on the bonnet of the Cortina. That'll never look dated.
Bobo Skelly does a 3D Gladstone print.
Yeah.
Yes, he does, yes.
Yes. Mark Wilson, Waxer of the DeLoreans, has just booked up to take my 2-year-old grandson on the Statfold Barn Christmas experience on the 22nd
nice.
of December. That'll be good. I'll be honest, one of the things that was for me was a little bit disappointing was the fact that the Worley at Statfold event was the same weekend as Getz, because I always love going to
I love Statfold.
Barn.
It's so good.
If you ever get the chance to go to Statfold Barn, it really is a great time. DJ K666 says those old psychedelic rock bands always did funny photos. These were like sort of like pub folk bands. I remember going into a charity shop and scrutinising one, and it was like, really? That's what you came up with for your album cover? And they were on like a proper record label as well. They were on like EMI. And it's like, really? Nobody at EMI went, put the Cortina away.
Is everything okay?
Ah.
What's happened?
You talk to the nice people.
Okay, I will. Oh, I see what's happened.
Yes, yes.
So, some of the trains were a little bit naughty. So, next up we have from Richard Swiderski a short video at Hertford Station in Cheshire of Jubilee 45596 Bahamas and Black 44932 storming through Hertford Station on the 30th of September. So, we're a little bit behind. Just
We're
a
always
little bit.
a little bit behind.
But here we go. We get there in the end, and that's what counts.
Ivo Van Son says Germany has loads of mainline steam and a fair selection of heritage lines. Cape of stuff in Minden, Vulkan Express, Neustadt AD, Weinstrasse. Yeah, I remember going on. I'm sure it was narrow gauge, and it would have been somewhere near Bonn. I don't know which one it was, but I remember going on a preserved railway in Germany many years ago.
Pelt. My goodness. You know, the way we can get realistic steam these days is so good.
Zoe, it was moderately amusing the first time.
You admit it was funny? You admit it was funny? Yes, my life is complete.
Ooh, look at that.
Beep, beep.
Two no way. Was that a Jubilee at the back? Look like
I don't know.
8F and Jubilee, maybe something like that.
Look at the amount of smoke that's around. That's amazing.
Well, it's a very moist day, so you tend to get a lot of that on moist days. Ivor Van Son says near Bonn is probably the Vulkan Express. I'll have to have a look at that. I seem to recall it being narrow gauge. Now, when I went on it,
That was so cool.
the locomotive itself was a diesel locomotive, but the
East Germany didn't completely finish with steam until 1993.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow,
So
that's
it
amazing.
presumably meant there was quite a large pool of locomotives that entered preservation as a result.
Well, I'd hope so, because you got a chance to keep a bit of history,
Yeah.
but you never know, do you? That was brilliant. Thank you so much, Richard. That was great. So Jubilee in a black 5. There we go.
Oh, there we
Can
are.
you please move your tissues out the way so I can press these buttons?
Snotty tissue.
Yeah. Don't stick it in my hair, you horrible smelly
Oh,
git.
you love it. You love
do.
it. Give it a lick.
No.
Right, anyway, Ravenheart says, watching the webcam for the Harz railway in Germany, you can't see the steam for the fog up the mountain.
Wow.
Yeah, I do remember, though, in the shed, and somewhere I've got a photograph of it, in the shed was a steam locomotive, but the one that pulled us was a diesel. But now I know it might be the Vulkan railway. I'm going to have to look that up and take a look and see if that is where I went. Ben Tullett says, saw Jubilee class Bahamas doing the Shakespeare Express runs yesterday.
Nice.
So
yeah, it says he spends a while watching either the SVR or the Festinio webcams. I love that we can do this sort of thing these days.
Yeah, welcome to the future, baby.
We can just sit
Well,
and enjoy.
We did effectively a webcam from the Great Electric Train Show, and I was actually a little bit surprised at how many people said thank you for doing that, because we felt like we were part of the show, because we could,
That was the entire idea.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you enjoyed it, guys. But
And,
I'm talking about these webcams of actual railway lines. You can just have a railway running in the background while you do other stuff. You can watch a railway while you're playing with your railway.
It's like, it reminds me, do you remember in Back to the Future 2 where they had the scenery channel and it was like a window?
Yes.
And it was just views of nice places.
Yeah.
Effectively, we've got that. You know, people look at that and oh, look at that, that's a bit weird. But actually, we're there. We've got that.
Yeah. You can go on YouTube now and get a roaring fire. And
just watch it for hours on end.
And just leave it on in the background, a roaring fire while you read a book or something like that. Or a fish tank. It's really good. So next up we have a one from PVA J-Cloth Alan.
Ooh.
I believe you have a special hand signal.
Do I?
I thought you did. Sorry.
PVA J-Cloth Alan. I will have to develop one.
Yes.
It would be probably
putting the PVA down.
Yeah. Smoothing the PVA.
There you go. Special hand signals.
So PVA J-Cloth Alan. There's your little hand signal, because we've got John JMC, the guru of sound, and we've got Mark Wilson, the waxer of the DeLorean, James Petts, the man who likes to say I approve, and also his name escapes me. The original.
I can't remember. He'll be around.
He changed his handle a couple of times. I haven't seen him for a while. I do hope he's well. James Pett. I do approve. John JMC equals Guru of Sound. PVA J-Cloth Allen equals Guru of Glue.
Absolutely.
I like that, the Guru of Glue.
So what PVA J-Cloth Allen says is he's been updating his town scene on Buckland Junction.
The town
So let's
scene.
have a look.
Excellent.
We're going in, ladies and gentlemen.
Going in dry.
Welcome back to Buckland Junction.
Ravenheart says we need a 360-degree camera in Weir Yard so we can visit it in VR.
I have actually thought about doing... Whoa, look at all those switches and dials.
Welcome to the Nerd Centre.
That's good. I have thought about a 360 camera, and it is something that we may eventually do, but it won't be as a standard live stream. The way I want to do it is VR.
It was our Kickline correspondent.
That was it, yes.
Yeah, what was his name? I forgot. I'm really sorry. We've read it out so many times.
Dominic Zed.
Dominic Zed, our Kickline correspondent.
Yeah.
I met him at the Doncaster show, actually.
Yeah.
Lovely chap.
Excellent.
Yes.
So, yeah, I want to do it with the Monday Club in VR with a 360 camera so that you can feel like you're actually here.
Look at that. That looks like near Haworth or Oxenhope.
You know, PVA J-Cloth Allen, you've made an amazingly realistic model railway here.
Zoe, put that away. Visiting preserved railways. Well, this is the Keighley Worth Valley Railway. I'd swear.
Beep,
on
beep.
it.
Right, I'm going to move it on so we can have a look at his scenery and how he's updated his town scene.
Ooh.
So there's his... Oh, look at those cars. Nice.
Yes.
I like the red one. That was cool.
Yeah. This is a part of his layout we've not seen before.
Yes. So we're going to have a look at how he's updated it.
Yeah.
I'll be there on VR when you do it, says Ravenheart. So will I, making sure it works.
So
Because you know what I'm like.
So PVA J-Cloth Allen, the Guru of Glue.
So he's talking
We
on
met
his
him
show.
at the Great Electric Train
We
show
did.
actually, in the bar. Oh, he was so made
look at
up
this.
that he won the tickets. Oh, I like that. That's the it's like a war
cenotaph.
memorial type thing.
Hmm.
So you still see them a lot.
Oh,
and
yes.
They'll have all the names inscribed of those who have fallen during the Great War. Because of course, when they had the First World War, it wasn't called the First World War.
Oh, I like what he's doing here. A weathering wash straight after the prime. So you get the different textures and everything that comes out.
And it goes into all of the different bits of texture.
Moreover than that, you can then paint over the top. And if you use a light coating, a couple of light layers, then the texturing from the primer and the darkening wash will still show through.
I mean, never underestimate the black dirt wash. The Humbrol do it. It's cheap, it's effective.
So what's it got us here?
Ooh.
They look like, the BT cabinets and things like that. And
Danger Mouse's house.
Yes. So let's see how he paints these up.
Somebody sent me a photograph. There genuinely is a tiny blue plaque down at the bottom of a post box
Here we go.
that
Beep, beep.
says, "Here lived the greatest superhero of them all, Danger Mouse."
Du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du.
I love this
Did that
layout.
Gronk have a face on it?
Did what?
One of his Gronks had a face on it.
Well, why not? I like the
The
use
post
of
boxes
height.
in Buckingham. They are.
I love the use of height
Yes.
on this layout.
Oh, it doesn't. It's a big grill on the front. I thought it was a face.
Yeah, it's a radiator. But then there's also the stuff goes like here, there, and everywhere. It's a nice, busy layout.
Yeah. This is a really nice layout. I love it.
I tuned in on a live stream actually one time, and he was doing a lot of this. I think it was this area. Oh, there we go. There's the. Oh, what a gorgeous erection on the side of the hill. I was hoping you'd split your teeth.
I was.
Oh, right, okay.
And there we are. So we got some of the
Oh, BB.
town scene in.
That's come together nice. So that's basically going to be like effectively the back scene area.
Yeah.
Really nicely done. So that'll be visible behind other buildings eventually, I take it. So where you see the gaps, I'm guessing there'll be more sticky out buildings.
I like this idea. I also like the way he's managed to cut
perspective.
one of those buildings so that it essentially works as two buildings.
So look,
And there you
there
go.
we are. Oh, that's come together nice.
It looks so good.
Oh, look, and then you've got the perspective as well. That has, and look, so you've got buildings behind
Buildings.
And if you
And it
notice,
works
the
so
ones
well.
that are behind are actually to a different scale to make them look further away.
It works really well.
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
does. I am super impressed. Ooh.
So this is another work in progress, as is that. And actually, I think it's Metcalf have introduced some new half-timbered style buildings.
I love them.
There are
Metcalf.
some new Metcalf kits, so really looking forward to that.
I hope they start doing some mass production in TT120. I could do with some buildings.
Well, ask them. See you later, Ed Flame 429.
Thanks for coming along.
It's been great having you
Have
company.
a great night. This is great. We're going to jump it on a little bit, though. He's starting to put down some more trees. I love the way he does it. It just works so well.
Yeah, love the artistic
Oh,
flair.
look at that. It's all coming
Look
together
at that.
now.
Look down the alley and you
Yeah.
see the building at the back. And the way he's very thoughtfully sort of built it up layer by layer.
I like the way also that the buildings don't go right to the back and stick straight on. It looks like there's space behind. It looks like there's a path. And you could actually go down there.
This is working really well.
Yeah.
I love the way that those buildings flat on the back scene are like basically sort of N gauge.
Yeah, they're smaller. They're
Has
slightly...
he actually hand drawn them? Because
They look hand-drawn. They're
very
slightly
and look, you get the perspective as well.
pastelised. So it works out really well.
This is
Reynolds Brewery, nice.
Yes.
Nicely done there, sir. That is amazing. Thank you so much for showing us this.
David Baker says there's a TV aerial installer near me, and their catchphrase is satisfaction with every erection. Yes,
Oh,
erection.
that is so well done.
We
Let's
need
put
to
them all
take
there.
back the word erection. No, we don't. We'll just leave it to the.
Leave it in their capable hands. I've been
ever-
trying to work that out for
Yeah.
a while. How to do
This
that.
is actually.
I'm
can I
super
just
impressed,
say
man.
that
I'm
this,
super impressed.
It's a little bit like actually what Les did for the
Yeah.
back scene on Weir Yard, but in a much more grand scale. So,
Oh, man, this
is
is just
coming
reminding me of my
together,
Micro
really.
Machine Super City that I had as a kid. I don't know why, because it's completely different. I think it's the slightly modular bit of it. It's really nicely done. I love it. Thank you so much for sending this in, man.
This is great. Have you shared the link?
I have.
I think this
It's
is
20 minutes long, so go and have a look at
And
it.
of course, obviously, he's talking as well. We
Yeah.
can't play the talkie, but
The Crown and Anchor.
oh look, it's got working traffic lights as well.
Oh, that is so cool.
Nice.
That is really nicely done.
That
man.
has really come together well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
for sharing that. Really enjoyed that. There's some great ideas to take away
They really are.
from that.
I'm super impressed.
And in some respects, using things like N-gauge buildings in the background.
Don't get any ideas. They're for my buildings.
Oh, a lot of people had Micro Machine cities. I always
they were
wanted
so
one.
good.
Yeah, now, girls, says Nick at Bletchton High Level. Also, incidentally, those people who've been asking about when we're getting more Monday Club badges in, they are ordered.
Yep.
It's just like, you guys, you supported the badge scheme so well. We actually sold out.
Sold out.
We sold out about 4 weeks quicker than we were expecting, so we were caught on the hop a little bit.
So yes, we are officially sellouts.
But yes, we have ordered the next batch of Monday Club badges. So anybody who's not been able to pick up a Monday Club badge yet, don't worry. I know that we keep rubbing it in by going, woohoo, Hornby are on board, look at all this great
I was
stuff.
amazed that you managed to get Hornby on board.
Well,
how did you reel that one in?
Because they recognise the awesome source that is the Monday Club.
The Monday Club is cool.
Either that, or I just sort of spritzed them with Jenny Musk.
With Nerd Musk. So New Junction's in.
Oh, hello,
New Junction in the house.
In the house.
Tuning in from afar tonight.
Yeah, he's in Dublin. I think is it Dublin?
Oh, right, nice.
Yeah, he's on a business trip. He's shown me the really big model railway they have in their offices for a Curascale.
For business.
For the business trip.
So I believe Gandalf needs to step in.
A Monday clubber is never late, New Junction, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks,
Gandalf.
I'm gonna have a biscuit, and it's gonna be
nice. So we got a message here from Simon Poole, who on the 30th of September, says, good evening, Jenny, Zoe, Craig, Gandalf, Topsy and Gronksy Toaster, the cult of the Gronks and the tumble of clowns.
Craig,
Iron Horse was here at the time this was sent.
I should have recognised your foul odour.
Oh, don't say that. He's a nice guy. A few photos that I've taken back in 2018 from the East Midlands Parkway station with Radcliffe Power Station in the background. Remember to gronk it up.
Gronk it up.
Gronk it up. Gronk it up.
Hashtag not a cult for legal and tax purposes.
The Gronk It Up cult is not a cult for legal and tax purposes. Your mileage may vary. So let's have a look at what Simon sent in. Ooh. Got an interesting one here, my dear.
Ooh.
So this looks rather cool.
That power station has recently closed.
Oh, that's a
and
shame.
thus ending Britain's power generation by coal.
Oh, well, that's all right then. So there we go. We've got a very, very interesting livery. See, this is what I mean. Not all blue.
East Midland train. And some of these post-privatisation liveries are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So much more colourful than what we've had before.
Yeah. What the hell was with British Rail? What colour do you want? Do you want something that... No, we want blue. Well, have about... No, we want blue. How about a stripe? No, we want blue.
Ruben Ashwell says the cooling towers at Ratcliffe Power Station may be demolished at some point.
Oh, that's a shame.
Almost certainly they will.
Well, they would eventually become a bit of a maintenance nightmare, but it's sad to lose our history.
And because once common sight, they used to be everywhere. And anybody remember Meadowhall? There were several at the side of the Tinsley Viaduct by the M1 motorway, which were leftovers from a power station. And for a great many years, they actually persisted because they weren't quite sure how to demolish them without damaging the motorway bridge.
This is an interesting demonstration of scale. Look how big those are compared to the train.
Absolutely.
To Loco, even. There's no train there.
I know Bachmann did do a model of the cooling towers, and I'd go as far as to say that actually, if you model in N gauge, you need to get the 001s to get the sense of scale right.
Yeah.
Because they truly are huge.
They're monstrous sizes. They really are. They're monstrously large. It's ridiculous.
And Arranville, absolutely, model railways will build and preserve history. And incidentally, Arranville, you are in YouTuber Corner. We don't have the roving cam. It refused to work.
It decided it wasn't going to work today. It was on strike.
But Arranville is watching on whilst New Junction watches Jenny Kirk burying something.
Someone who suggested that you got kickbacks. There we go.
Either that. They won't find Sam's trains in a hurry.
No. Sam's Trains, it's only a bit of fun. We know that you're a big man, you can take it. But some of his fans do seem to get a bit defensive.
Actually, no. They've been quite well behaved of late.
But I remember someone mentioned that we wouldn't let their comments on our channel.
Who? What?
I can't remember who it was. Like, why are you blocking all my things? It's like, no, it's not that. If you mention certain YouTubers, you go into our wait list where we have a look.
The sin bin.
It's not even that. It's like, we know that some people's fans get a little bit boisterous, or a little bit always wanting to talk about them. So in order to stop spam, we put them into a wait list where we go through and say, yes, you can be on there.
Aaronville says, excellent, YouTuber's Corner. Thanks for letting me join you. We can see another time. Absolutely. I'll get a picture at some point. DJ K666 says, I was thinking it was a stash of biscuits being buried, presumably so that Gandalf couldn't find them.
Gandalf would find them. Knockers Lane has a very interesting thing here. He says, I've replaced your Model U figure holding a dongle camera with a Pathé News tripod 3-lens movie tone camera. Restyled me in 1950s attire. That sounds amazing.
You've been reupholstered like some kind of Ferengi.
Some kind of sofa. John Pinney, the Monday Club badges are only for in-store discounts or at shows.
In-person shopping.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just you. The whole point of them is to encourage footfall, use of the shops, and to support the shops that support the scheme at shows. Because model shops very much use it or lose it, and we've lost far too many. So it's all about trying to get people to make use of their local shops. And I'd like to also thank Andy Fryers Junction, aka Sawyer's Models, who says that at the Gaydon show last weekend, it was incredibly brisk. A lot of Monday Clubbers made full use of their badge discounts. So it's great to see, and a big thank you to Sawyer's Models for supporting the scheme. We've got a full list of retailers, manufacturers and clubs that are supporting the Monday Club badge scheme on the website, actually where you would notionally buy your badge. But at the moment, because you guys supported the scheme a little bit harder than we were expecting, we sold out 3-4 weeks.
Sell out.
Yeah, sell out. Oh, look at that, Jenny Kirk. What a sellout. How dare she make a living? How dare she review a review sample that she's then got to pay with her own money to send back to Dapol?
Getting a little on your skin, was it?
Yeah, so how dare they spend hours and hours working at the equivalent of pennies per hour to make us entertain. Dance, monkey, dance, entertain me. Oh, your font's the wrong colour. Oh, I'm never going to watch it again.
Are you finished?
Oh, sorry, I've been...
My goodness, Jen, that's clearly someone sparked you off. So we got here an interesting one from Ravenheart. Fun fact, those cooling towers were large enough to vent the steam from the ears of ribbit counters looking at Bachmann models. I like that.
Yes. Who I love the juxtaposition. Okay. Oh look, that rivet is 4 microns left of where it should be, while simultaneously ignoring the narrow gauge track.
I just love that.
Yes. Incidentally, we will be at the NEC show, the I can't believe it's not Worley show. I'll get wrong by that. Whenever I accidentally call it Worley, I get an inbox full of angry people from the Worley Club saying it is not Worley. So we've decided we can't decide actually. I was talking to Phil Parker, and we can't decide whether we should call it Warnerley or I can't believe it's not Worley. So my favourite's Warnerley because I think they get less grief for that. But we're going to be there with Minith Tatus and also 4 Seasons, a number of different dioramas as well, which don't often get shown in public. And you'll recognise them from some of the project builds that we've done. And we're also going to try and do some live streams. It worked so well to promote the Great Electric Train Show that actually we're going to try and do it again. It's, there's lots of if, buts, maybes, and lots of caveats.
You love it when there's a lot of buts.
It's to do with, can we get a good internet signal? Luckily, we were able to freeload with impunity on DCC Concepts.
DCC Concepts and TMC.
Well, TMC's... I think TMC also piggybacked on DCC Concepts in the end because TMC's internet connection was a bit lame.
It was actually perfect right up until half an hour before we went live because I set up the show, I got everything set, I did a test run, and then it all died.
But I don't know what voodoo Richard Brighton is weaving, but he always has the best internet connection at all the shows.
Norcus Lane says people should get scanned naked by Model U, then I'll decide what they're dressed as. Yeah, I can guarantee you do not want to see what's under my clothes because the reams and reams of fat would not be something you could get out of your mind.
Can I just say, if she jumps up and down, you'd be like, oh, it's hypnotic. It's like some kind
like
of
a lava lamp.
Warnerly as a Nick Bletchen high level. I wish I could claim responsibility for that, but I'm sure I heard it elsewhere. I'll be at the NEC on the locomotion model stand, says Dave Scott Railways. Excellent. We'll see you there. Malco Blues says I have a D1 in O-gauge. The hospital was Withington near Preston. Yes, and I'm sure they had a Sentinel as well before the D1. Sarah Davis says I can't believe it's not Worley. Andy Friars Junction says we'll be at the NEC. Don't forget your Monday Club badges.
Absolutely,
and we are absolutely hoping, fingers crossed, that we might be getting the next batch of Monday Club badges by then. When is
the Warnerly show, the NEC?
I think it's 23rd, 24th of November, something like that.
Not long now.
Oh, Jeff Hammond, Flint Hills Model Railway says, I'll be at the NEC helping DCC train automation. Excellent.
Oh, I saw their stall at a show one time. It looked very interesting.
Yeah. SHGP Media says, I've also been asked if people can dress my Model U figure like Action Man. No, not quite. Spalding show this coming weekend. Be there or you may get many wheel flats. Be there or be an Icoso dodecahedron.
Okay.
Whatever that may be.
So, next up we have a video from Zantec. And he says, while I was doing radio-controlled model boats as a hobby, I got involved with the Blackpool and Fylde Model Boat Club and got to know the club chairman very well. Ooh. Malcolm Frey was also a close friend of Roger Walker and the Potteries Model Boat Club. And in that time I knew Mark. I would occasionally ring him for the intention of a nice 10-minute chat. These would often turn into a chat which was much longer. When he was sadly... unalived, we can't say certain words on YouTube. Sadly, unalived on New Year's Eve 2021, I was somewhat shocked. I think we all would be.
Yes.
To remember him, I've commissioned Javmar to do a model for me, mainly to remember the great time I had in Shetland in 2018 and 2019. Mm-hmm. But when I heard of Mark's passing, I added a nameplate to the commission as something to remember a friend who has been sadly taken from all who he knew.
Absolutely.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man. He was talking to me about this at Getz, and it's like, it's horrible, man.
Yeah, I mean, we've just recently lost Paul Tyre, a very, very good friend of ours.
Yes.
And, it comes
it's hard.
So unexpectedly.
It's so hard.
And then earlier this year, I lost my grandfather, who's obviously been a part of my entire life. And it is hard.
It's
even
never
when
easy,
you
man.
kind of know it's coming.
Yeah.
It's very hard, so even worse if it happens unexpectedly.
So this is the commission. He's got a little nameplate on the side of his locomotive.
So King Fox Junction says, I will be at the NEC as well. Ooh. Peter Jackson Chiddle here says, Jeff Hammond, winner of the first Model Rail Crew exhibition. Excellent.
Fantastic.
Yes. So there's a lot of people coming to the NEC show. DJK666, will there be a Monday Club gathering at Not Worley?
I can guarantee that some
Yes.
people will be hanging around, yes.
Well, it's a bit like what we said when Les and I were there with Minith Tattoos at Ali Pali. We'd probably do something like 2 p.m. at Minith Tattoos. Look for the mound of potato covered in grass.
Yeah.
But closer to the time, we'll iron that out. Big hello to you, Timbersurf. Says, I will not be at the NEC. Spent enough this year's and shows. And at £108 for 2 days, travel, ticket and petrol. That's just too much. I know a lot of people say the NEC is a very expensive venue, although it gets. First year I've known where they're charging for parking, which is a little bit ominous sign, I must admit. It's a bit like naughty. But yeah. Sarah Davis says, I don't know if I'll be at the NEC, but should be at the El Sages show on the Saturday and Manchester in December. Mark Wilson says it's around £25 to park at the NEC.
Thank you so much for sending that in, Zantek.
Absolutely.
And may your friend rest in peace, man.
Absolutely. Incidentally, if you pre-book the parking, it is cheaper. So if you've booked tickets, they suggest you book parking, and it's a lot cheaper. But unfortunately, it is always expensive at the NEC. I know in previous years, a few people have said that if you park a couple of stations away and then catch a train in, it's free parking at the railway station, and it's only like a couple of quid for the train. And you also then don't get stuck in the scrum trying to get out of the car park at the end of the day.
Timbersurf says he won't be at the NEC because he's spent enough this year on shows.
I just read that out.
But he's added an extra bit at the end. You can have a 2 p.m. meet at Potato Mountain without him.
Oh, okay. Wait, have you been scanned by Model U?
It's been officially endorsed, and that's what counts.
Officially endorsed.
It's an official one now.
An official, as opposed to an unofficial. But yeah, we'll try and work that. Unless because they do sometimes have. I know that the previous years at the Worley event that was on at the same weekend, but organised by completely different people, they had a YouTuber meetup on both days. But we will of course try not to interfere with that. So we will make sure that our times and theirs don't clash.
Yeah.
But I'll closer to the time we'll sort that out. I'm also going to try and track down some news on the Monday Club badges. I shall tentatively ask if they've got an expected date on those so that we know, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have them for the NEC show.
Yeah, so next up we've got one from James Latcham who says, we've got Clan Line passing Oldfield Park Bath. And this looks quite ominous in that sky.
That is quite a leaden sky.
Yes, that's it. Ooh.
Ooh. Beep, beep.
Oh, look at the sense of scale on that. I love that's one thing that vertical can do, that landscape, or as Jen would say, proper orientation of video can't quite get. The sense of height.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah, that was lovely. Thank you.
Hit the lever.
That was really nice.
Timbersurf said, cheers, knockers. I'm sorry. When you see that comment out of context, like, cheers, knockers. That's it. Yeah, that's the noise I can't make. Very atmospheric, says RG Models 86.
There's a TARDIS to the rear of the shed, to the left, behind the sponsor logo.
Boom!
Logo, Ethan.
I must admit, I haven't seen...
Jen, who is our sponsor today?
Our sponsor? It's TMC, didn't you know?
Normally you do a spiel.
TMC, your first choice for all things new. Pre-order with confidence, no money down, and ensure that you get the model that you want. Also, check out their full second-hand listings. They've recently had a huge collection in, over 1,000 items, with the first 500 already being live and the second 500 going live soon. There's definitely sure to be a special item that you've been looking for years and years, available at a great price. So do check them out at the website somewhere below, I think.
Themodelcenter.com.
Yes.
That's the one. That's
Ravenheart
that's the
says
space.
TMC stands for too much choice.
Sometimes, yes.
It can be, yes. Yes. And right now we could attach electrodes to the haters who are spinning madly, going, oh, she's getting money for doing her hobby. How dare she?
You really did get that. That comment really went to.
I am
to you, didn't
living
it?
rent free in some people's heads. It's great. At this rate, I'll have enough space to put in a massive model railway. Perfect.
Right in someone else's head. Yes.
I was telling another YouTuber, actually, there was somebody, they were annoyed that there was this huge thread and people that they'd never heard of, I don't even know who this person is, were bad-mouthing them in comments. And I said, listen, you've not made it in YouTube until complete strangers who you have no idea who they are bad-mouthing you in Facebook groups.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So next up we have...
can I just say?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Raymond Legs, # rent-free. Boom!
Yes.
Jamie Smith as well. There are plenty of places to park for free at the NEC. I've done enough shows in my time. It isn't what you know, it's a matter of who you know, like most things in life. Yes.
Sadly, yes. Jail Rose, thank you so much,
thank
man.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
$4.99 on Super Chat. That's incredibly kind of you. He says, thanks for showing my vid, Jenny and Zoe. Much appreciated. You are absolutely welcome. And SHGP Media says, I've made it! Hooray!
Yeah, he was getting bad-mouthed by someone in the comments as well. It's
was that it? Was in the same thread, was it?
Probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good in this hobby and a lot of really great people, but as a species, we always latch on to the bad comments.
Yeah.
And the usual suspects know that.
Yeah. And it's like, what you got to remember is there's the green-eyed monster is at work. It's like, I'm jealous.
Yeah, look at them getting success for doing things that I don't want to do.
Look
but
at them
want to
able
have
to
success.
do their hobby for a job. How dare they?
That's not even that. Sometimes it really is. I don't want to do this, but they are doing it, therefore I don't want them to do it, so they should stop.
Well, I think anybody who can make their hobby their job, but not actually make it seem like a job,
they're winning at life.
It's great. And, it does take a lot of time.
SHGP Media says, all us YouTubers are lazy and sloppy and disrespect all the layout owners by not saying their names in our videos.
Yes, you did see. Oh, you read the same thread as me. Yes, I know. And it's like, well, all these people appearing at a show where they appear in public and let people in the general public come and look at their things. How dare people not ask permission to film it? It's like
what?
It's like, who goes to an exhibition and go, no, you can't film my
Oh, there was someone that did that at Getz.
What's that?
Yeah, and said to Wobbler, this better not show up on social media.
What?
To which I said to him, sorry, which layout is this? Because I'll go and film it right now. If you come to a public thing and tell that people are going to film it, because people always film at this and always put out videos, and then tell one person at that event you can't put this on social media, do you honestly expect that to stand up in court? Because that's where it'll end up when we put it on social media.
That's like that person who got really irate about you were filming in Preston Town Centre.
Oh yeah, and they happened to just wander into the shot.
And all we could think was maybe they were a benefit cheat and they didn't like the idea that you were filming them. It's like, look, they're not in a wheelchair.
I was filming a street scene to use as a backdrop for something.
You weren't actually filming them.
Yeah.
They just happened to
wander
crowd.
into the scene.
Yeah.
And then got uppity because, I don't want to be on film. Then don't walk into my shot.
Yeah, well then, don't go out in public. You have no right to privacy in public. But yeah, Retro Rambles trolls don't realise how much dedication and effort goes into 2-hour live streams every Monday. Yeah, and it's like there's a lot of people do live streams. I mean, I've seen the amount of work that Sir Ken of Patterson, big at What's Neat This Week and all at the What's Neat This Week posse. The work he puts into his stuff as well is phenomenal. It really is a full-time job. Yeah, there's a lot of great YouTubers, and I think SHGP Media says I was the subject of his rant when I made the guy a video to promote his layout. And it's and actually Underground Eric, full enough, had a really good comeback against the person who was moaning. And good on Eric for calling him out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, always call out these people because they take your silence as basically agreement.
Yeah. Warbler Production says, I was filming a layout that had a child operating it. The child's mother made a rude comment about no images of a child appearing on social media. I included the clip in my video, as you can't hear. But it's like, if you
sorry, guys. We're not here to film your kids. There's a freaking railway there. We're interested in the railway.
And that's the thing. It's like some people... It's like, look, I will stand here. I will get in your way. I will obscure your camera. But you can't use it on social media. And it's very much a minority.
Yeah.
But, if you're that bothered, then don't take your kids out in public. Kids smell anyway. We don't want to see your kids.
Okay, guys, Jen is making a joke. I know that most people do understand that, but just to make this absolutely clear, Jen is making a joke.
Yeah, George says it's ridiculous. If it's a public space or public event, I believe there's no law to say you need permission unless specified by the event organisers. Yeah, effectively. I think what the law drills down to is you have no right of privacy in a public place.
Yes. Although a building like that is not a public place; it's a private event, and there's ways around things.
And so, Chris Eden Green says, "Big hello to you, Chris. Great to see you in. If I had a quid for every time someone said I was just cyber begging off my hobby, I'd have enough to buy a country."
Oh, I know, man.
Yeah. And it's I do firmly believe that it all boils down to they're just jealous because you've actually managed to turn your hobby into something that you can make at least a small living out of. And I know that one of the things when you're in this business is that never work out your hourly rate because it comes out at like pennies per hour.
Yeah.
So it's a labour of love. If we wanted to make serious cash, we'd go and work in the stock market or something.
Yeah.
We do this because we absolutely love what we're doing. And it's, you wouldn't say to somebody who looks happy at the till in Asda, oh, you shouldn't take a wage because you're enjoying yourself. You should be serving me for free. And you wouldn't do that.
Some people would.
It's like this bus driver said that he likes driving buses, therefore you can't pay him because he couldn't possibly make any money out of what he enjoys doing.
So next up we have a video from Blackwood Engage, the Growler Blackwood Engage, and he says, "Nice to meet you in person at Getz, and it was lovely to meet you too, sir."
Absolutely.
Attached below is a link to my latest layout update. If you start the video from 1355, you'll have around 5 minutes worth of running shots.
Boom.
Excellent, so let's do that.
And Annie Gray, big hello to you, great to see you, says Section 33 Criminal Justice Act 1972 allows lawful activities in a public place. Photography is a lawful activity. NB, private land can still be a public place. For example, your local Sainsbury's. So yes, there's certain private places that effectively are being used as if public space.
Yes.
For things like an event. So I mean, you could go to.
This is lovely.
I guess you go to what's that big thing? The big Glastonbury. So you could go to Glastonbury. It's on a farm, private farm.
Jen, this is Engage. It doesn't look good.
You can film the bands and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's considered a public place for the purposes of the event.
The one that always comes back is when I was doing my law degree. A school banned filming and photography of a nativity play, but would sell you a video of it. Yeah, and they were told absolutely under no circumstances could you say you can't film, but we'll sell you a thing that we filmed.
If they'd have said you can't film and that's it, then they could have done that.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that they were effectively creating a monopoly for their own film.
That always comes back to it, yeah. It's a completely different thing, but
Oh, look
it
at
came
that
to
road!
mind.
Look.
Yeah, really well done. This is the
It's like a
the
forced
Growler Blackwood
perspective.
N gauge.
I know. It's every time I see this layout, it's like, and that's N gauge.
Like, dude, this is
Yeah.
superb. Oh my goodness, that back scene. That's perfect. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
The way
that
it
back scene
blends.
is- I love the back scene, and like you say, the
my
way it
goodness.
blends into the model in the foreground
So well
is
done, man.
seamless. That is really, really nice.
I was about to say, what do you do when autumn comes and the back scene's a different colour to your front? Like, the
It's
trees
not-
don't change!
It's not a
Trees
window.
don't change!
It's a picture, but it's just a very good picture. And this is a lovely layout for watching trains go by. And that's something that N-Gauge is really, really good for.
It's wonderful, because if you had an N-gauge layout in here, you would have so much going on. I mean, you already do have so much going on, but
I know, but
because
like
of the
you
space,
could,
you'd have so much more.
because it's like something like, is it about a quarter? So like basically, Weir Yard in N-Gauge would fit in a quarter of the space.
Look at the
of Weir-
helix!
Yes, he's got helices.
Oh,
There we are. Always got to
Oh,
got to
this is
admire
so
the
good,
correct
man.
plural of
yeah,
helix.
a lot of work's gone into this layout. Absolutely, it has. This is amazing.
And he's got super elevation on the track as well, which when you watch the trains go round it, it does look amazing.
It really does. It looks so good.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, this is so nice. I'm super impressed. The amount
Always.
of work you put into this.
Yeah,
Oh my
always
goodness.
super impressed with this layout. I believe Growler Blackwood N-Gauge layout is actually one of our earlier Monday clubbers. He was there, I seem to recall, right from pretty much the start.
He's an OG.
Oh, yeah.
Original gangster.
Yeah.
Apparently that's what it is. Craig taught me that. It's original gangster. I thought it was original and greatest, but apparently it's gangster.
SHGP Media says, I've posted the thread that Jenny was just referring to on the Monday Club group. If you fancy a laugh after the stream.
Speaking of ending the stream, oh my goodness, we are at 9 o'clock, Jen.
Let me know. I must admit,
Doesn't time
when
fly?
they were talking about beards and stuff, I thought, thank God they're not talking about me for a change. Although sometimes though, it's almost like you feel your ears burning because as soon as somebody starts banging on about something, it's like he's talking about me, isn't he? Is he?
The paranoia
actually,
always comes in.
yeah, the
Thank you so
paranoia.
much, Growler. That was
And there's
amazing.
probably 24 YouTubers all sat there going, is he talking about me?
Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for sending
George,
that in. That was
absolutely hit that like button.
Button.
Hit that like
Hit
button.
the like button, like.
Yeah, we am.
Aye.
We're spooky man. Going down the
Hit like button.
groove.
Oh.
Going down the groove.
Right, so before we go any further, we're going to have a word from our sponsor, then we'll come back and say our final goodbyes.
Yes, we will.
The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey.
So there we go. Another Monday Club is nearly over. I can't believe it. It goes
It always
so
goes
quickly.
so fast, man.
Yeah, Richard Swiderski says that hour flew by. There were 2
Didn't
hours.
it just?
2 hours. Yeah, RG Models
Oh my
86.
God.
I can't
Oh
believe
my
2 hours gone by
goodness.
already. And Simon Pitch. Oh, you didn't have
Thank
to.
you
Thank
so
you
much, man.
so much for
Thank
your
you.
generosity. Donating $9.99 on the super chat. Says great show again tonight, guys. Thank you so much. And you were so generous as well at Gets. You gave me the class 43. Oh, your generosity knows no bounds, sir. We salute you. Thank you so much. Jordan Hunter says another great stream tonight, Jenny and Zoe. Jail Railway says see you next week, Zoe and Jenny. Oh my word! Thank you so much,
thank
Richard
you so
Knowles.
much,
Very
man.
kindly donated £1 on the super chat.
Thank you.
You
guys,
so
you really don't
much.
have to, guys, but we definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
We do
so much.
appreciate it, but as we always say, never ever feel obliged to do the super chats or anything.
Yeah.
But it is massively appreciated.
We're
when
here
you
for
do.
the community, not for what we can
Absolutely.
get out of it.
And as we announced earlier on, there's a lot of new announcements. We were talking about, are there too many models? And on that vein, we've had a lot of new announcements. The LMS ventilated vans from Rapido have been announced. Also getting word that we've got a lot of new models incoming, such as the 262 Prairie tanks from Daypol. We've also got the London and North Western Railway 50-foot coaches announced from Bachmann. Not got prices on those yet, but they should be coming soon. And it's almost like there's too much. We've had so many new models come through. Is there really enough money to spread them out amongst them all? But if the hobby gets too expensive, don't forget that you don't have to buy everything.
And you don't need both kidneys.
Yeah, and no. But I think it's one of the scourges.
You said yes before you realised what I'd said.
Yeah. But it's one of the scourges, I think, of social media, that it puts the thumb screws on. And you very easily get swept away with this must have. And actually, back in the day, I remember my dad and I used to think we had a massive collection. We had like 35, 40 locomotives tops. And we thought that was a massive collection. And that was the culmination of decades of collecting. And actually, what I've got here now is just eclipses that. And, when you're buying your 23rd Gronk, you start to think, why am I buying more?
Because you need to Gronk it up. Gronk it up. Gronk it up. Gronk it up.
Hashtag not a cult for legal and tax purposes.
Right, I've got to head off ski. So I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a great evening.
Absolutely. So, we'll let Gandalf have one final blast for those latecomers.
A Monday clubber is never late, Toto wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
Thank you and good night.
Train now departing is a
Step away from the biscuits,
21:05
Gandalf.
service to Butzfarting, stopping at Eindhoven, Pittsburgh somehow. That unnamed loud that Jenny said had a name, but turned out it didn't have a name. Old change at 3 cocks for Lord Hereford's knob. Packham on the back, Huggleton on the hill, and Boxton on file, Mineth Tatis, Tatis Newith, Grove Street Yard, Bolton Trinity Road, and then finally on to Butzfarting. That's the 21:05 service to Butzfarting. If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club.
Monday Club for everyone.
So come on and have some fun and rub your tongue and say yum yum.
We should work on the rest of that song.
Yes, we should. But we won't.
No, because that involves effort. Do you think this A4's dizzy enough?
Dizzy, my head is spinning.
Like a
Jack?
whirlpool, it's never ending. Hold
Jack?
on. Sorry, I'm just...
Are you making yourself dizzy?
Yes.
Like a whirlpool, it never ends. And
Okay,
it's you,
there you
girl,
hit the
making me
lever.
spin. You're making me dizzy.
Why am I surrounded by aeroplanes and toasters?
Because I like aeroplanes and you like toast.
Are these what? Are these the right scale for hanging?
Yes. Yes, they are.
Oh, excellent.
First time that I saw you, girl, I knew that I just had to make you
Okay, in
mine.
that case, it looks like we've got, what are they, Hurricane and Spitfire?
Yep. But it's so hard to talk to you with fellas hanging around you all the time. I want you for my sweet pet, but
The
you
class
keep playing hard
20.
to get. And
Can I
going
just
around
say,
in
the
circles all
class...
the
Look, will
time.
you shut up? Go, you said you needed to go and do your show. Go
Yeah,
on,
but
bug off.
I was putting stuff in my pockets.
No, you weren't. You were faffing.
I was doing that as well. I could do multiple things at once.
Ba,
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. See you later.
Smell you later.
You will.
Yeah, I know. I always do, yeah.
Silent but deadly. Ha ha.
Yes, your silent but deadly business partner. Anyway, right. The class 20, yes, it's gronking it up. As is the A4, it must be said, in the class 29. Because that's all my gronks. It's all my gronks. Ooh. Andy Fryers Junction says we've got a Hornby Green 09 in pre-owned at the moment. It's a Tops Blue one I kind of fancy. I know Backman have announced one. It is tempting, but it's a bit like we said before. You can end up getting carried away. And I think that, you know, I'll get wronged for this. All the shops go, no, don't tell people to spend less. But I do think that there is a degree of almost like this fear of missing out that can sometimes make people feel almost like it's a rat race. And I blame social media. You know, sometimes it can be very tempting. It's like, must have this. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I like the choice. I like the fact that there are so many new models to choose from. When I was growing up, there was very little choice. Very little indeed. Quite frankly, you know, you could look in the Hornby range and find like maybe a dozen different locomotives and, you know, 20, 30 items of rolling stock. And they were the same ones that would be there at the end of the year as at the beginning. Andy Fryers Junction says, my Class 66, Class 60 and Class 37 collection on my own layout is getting out of hand. I think that it's probably safe to say that my Gronk collection is getting out of hand. But then again, it's like, I like them, but I like 08s. And then there's other things where, you know, I'm just not all that bothered. I'll have one. You know, I don't own a single Class 60 or a single Class 66. And I must admit, I'm not a massive person for Class 37s. I've only got the 4. I think it's a perspective error. There's not a lamb under the back wheels. I think it's from the angle that the camera's showing, you can see the lamb that's actually quite some distance behind. So I'm just going to check and see if the covered monkey is ready for you guys. And then you'll just get a prompt and your live streaming goodness will continue with retro gaming. And I think she's doing PS2 goodness tonight. Zoe? Are you live? Okay. Ooh. Timothy Kindhard, you're absolutely welcome. Yeah, Andy Fry's Junction, I spotted that as well. It must be a coupling between... It's always the same... Is it always the same wagons, or is that a different wagon? I'm just going to back the train up now, so you'll see the Class 28 backing a huge rake of random ways. I forgot to mention as well, I've changed all of the wagons in the sidings. A few people have said, oh, your wagons are always exactly the same. So I've been through, and these are now all private owner wagons. I think it's my entire collection of really nice, colourful private owner wagons. So the Cupboard Monkey is now live. So we're going to, from everybody here at Weir, I say everybody, it's just me, the Cupboard Monkey, Gandalf, the Toaster Twins. I don't have a J. Jones Butcher's wagon, it has to be said. Flemish Enwood, yes. Cooperative Wholesale Society. I think there's a few. I've got like Neasden Cooperative. There's a few others dotted in there. Definitely a few others. In fact, actually, I'm looking at it. It is my full collection, but it isn't, because I'm just realised there's a couple of wagons Not in. I'm going to have to go hunting now. Anyway, look, you guys take great care of yourself. And yes, Andy Friars Junction, there will be Wigan wagons. That's a bit of a mouthful, especially if you're slightly drunk. So, there are definitely some Wigan wagons. I can see Stockport, can see Bolton, TNC Scowcroft and Sons. There are some Wigan colliery ones as well, actually. Now I've gone looking for them, I can't see them. Wath, Main, Park End, Tarslag. J&R Stone, is that a Wigan one? Yes, J&R Stone, next to the CWS one. That is a Wigan wagon. And Andy Friars Junction, yeah, Lee ones, I know. And there might be some. It's knowing which colliery was from where. But anyway, you guys take great care, and we'll catch you next time. So say hello to the cupboard monkey for me.